Teenagers. Teenagers is it's the craziest song on the record. It's one of the craziest songs. It was the source of heated debates many a night. I was riding the train into rehearsal at SIR in New York, and I had found that I'd become very paranoid and very much out of touch with living a normal life. And every time school let out, I get very scared, and I didn't know why. And everything made me nervous. I was always on my toes because I was afraid of what kind of attention I would draw to myself. Because even before the band, I would always attract negative attention because I'd always wear black or something. But since being in the band, it got a lot worse. And so I always got nervous on subways, and I had to ride them every day from Queens into practice. But, one day on the train, I just wrote these lyrics and this melody in my head, and then we got to practice, and I showed it to everybody, and I think most of the people thought
if not all of them.
If not all of them thought I was absolutely crazy.
That's what sold me on the song.
And that's initially what sold. Yeah, Ray was just all about it right away because of that. Like, he was like, this is, what'd you say?
I think I might have actually used the word genius. I may have said genius.
All right, through my eyes, what happened was I walked in a late.
Through the same person's
that day.
eyes, this is what happened.
And I hear them like kind of jamming on this like T-Rex vibe kind of thing, and I was like, oh man, this is gonna be funny. So I sat down and we just started all playing it. It was like, and I just I was laughing and playing, and it didn't change from that first day. And the song ended and it was like, all right, so what was that? Right? And they were like, oh, what do you think? And I was like, I thought you guys were joking around.
Right.
And then like everybody that would come in the studio after that, Gerard was like, we gotta play them Teenagers, and I was like, yo, you're serious?
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where like I think that everything changes once you really listen to what's being said, and you really have to really pay attention to what Gerard's talking about and what he's singing about, and then it ties everything in, and it really is a very serious song, and I think it's really important to for this band and for the record.
We needed the lyrics to really drive the point home we were trying to say. I mean, it's a very important song because it talks about how teenagers are engendered to violence and how they're watched over and how they're over-medicated and how they're a group of people that they feel that a lot of them are made to feel like they can only solve their problems with violence. A lot of them are made to feel invisible, and this is a song that addresses a lot of issues about kids lashing out against other kids, lashing out against society, and it worked. It was one of those things it's like, oh, it's almost crazy enough to work, and it does. So, we're all really proud of this one. I think more so than almost as much as Cancer, I feel that this song really shows how much courage that everybody had involved in the project to want to say this in this type of way on the record.
The boys and girls in the clique, the awful names at the stick. You're never gonna fit in much, kid. But if you're troubled and hurt, what you got under your shirt will make them pay for the things that they did. They set out teenagers scared.
Disenchanted was written when we were supposed to be practicing for our last headlining tour.
Yep.
To the US, and we hadn't really written in a really long time because we were just constantly on tour and working and really busy and just didn't have the time to sit down and play together. And it was one of those itches that needed to be scratched or at least maybe shot in the face. So we kind of just all got together and we were like, all right, the songs that we're gonna play. Let's just play something else. And we started to write a song, and it became Disenchanted, but in a different form. And we kind of incorporated it into the set for the headlining tour. And I think by the end of the tour, we were kind of like, oh, this is it's a good song, but we have other stuff we really want to write on, and we kind of just tossed it aside. And remember in the Paramore, Mikey was like, "Oh, we're gonna play Disenchanted." We were like, "Oh man, no!"
Right, and the thing, like at that point too, we probably had like 18 or 19 songs, and it was just like to us, you know, except for Mikey, to us it was just like another song, you know, and it didn't have anything special about it. And I remember, yeah, he would like whisper while you were sleeping, "Disenchanted," you know, to get you to think about it the next day.
Mikey always believed in this song, and you know, I'm glad he did because he helped us pull together in the end.
Like, I remember when Gerard first came up with the initial vocal melody, we were practicing for the headlining tour, and he was just freestyling on the microphone. And then the song just wrote, like, so
It
fluid.
really did write itself. It's so much that we had to reevaluate it and rewrite it. It was one of those things that you got so inspired so quickly, it wrote itself a little too quickly.
fast, yeah.
And then we had to kind of be like, no, we need to make a little more structure. It needs to say a lot more than simply the chorus melody over and over again, and which is the way we played it on the headlining tour, but it needed to say a lot more. So we restructured it in such a way that I think it became a way more effective song. And then the first time we heard it tracked, we were blown away.
Yeah.
And we were so happy that, you know, Mikey had encouraged us to keep pressing on with the song.
Yeah, I listened to it like 30 times when it was done tracked. I like grabbed the headphones.
Yeah,
And
any
I,
chance Mikey could get to
I was
listen
like,
to it.
let me listen to Disenchanted, please.
Too hard it would sting. Yeah, yeah. Oh, if I'm so wrong, how can you listen all night long? How will it matter after I'm gone? Because you never learned a goddamn thing. It's just the same song with nothing to say about a lifelong wait for a hospital stay.
Famous Last Words is it's the last track on the record, and it's my favorite track. It kind of, what I love about it so much is that it really sums up what the whole record is about. You know, really the message that we're trying to convey through the story is for people to, you know, live every day like it's their last, and live it to the fullest and really enjoy life. The song has, you know, for me, the most inspiring chorus. The lyrics are, they make me want to wake up in the morning and you know, like, have a great day. That's the best way to describe this song. And that it's actually really heavy and really powerful as well. Like, it's one of the it's pretty interesting because it's like a more of a moderate tempo song for us. You know, most of our songs are either, you know, slower tempo or like Mach speed, and this one kind of falls in the middle, and it becomes way heavier because of that. Yeah, it's like I said, it's just one of my favorite tracks. It's a great listen.
Yeah, it's one of the most emotionally powerful songs on the record. It's an extremely difficult subject to personally talk about. It's one of those things that's just very hard to put into words. It's almost like that kind of song where you just have to hit play for somebody, and maybe they'll understand you by the end of it. It's heavy. Every time that song comes on, it's so emotionally heavy. I just kind of like get taken aback, and I'm like, oh man, this song. And but you know, I think it's the most powerful choruses we had ever written together, and it hits you in the stomach like a hammer. And I know it's Brian, our manager's favorite song that we've written, and you know, it's special to everybody in the band in different ways. It's a great way to end a record. It's a nice sentiment. The best part about this album is that we got to say a lot of things to our fans that before we could only say to them in live performances in between songs. And the great thing about this record is we got to say it in a song. And this is one of those songs that says it very directly in the song. And I think it's really very much about saying, I can do this alone sometimes. I really don't, you know, I can get through this. I just have to be strong and I'll get through this. I can you know, I can make it. I want to live.
This world say can stop me going home.